Shandy.
Welcome to the Dear Shandy Fashion Police, Shandies and Pandas. This is a throwback for my longtime blog readers. Those pandas of mine know that I have always done fashion recaps where I've rounded up my best and worst dressed from Bachelor and Bachelorette episodes. And that has sort of gone by the wayside as we've recapped with Dear Shandy. But many of you have been hotly requesting this. And when I say hotly, I mean like weekly.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, people were very upset when I stopped doing this, and I'm flattered. And Andy, you're along for the ride, just 'cause.
Yeah, I'm like a little one of those kids sleds, like off the back of a horse. If that's along for the ride.
You have opinions sometimes on fashion. Maybe you'll have something interesting to say.
Yes, I don't think so.
Okay, so a couple of ground rules to get out of the way with these. First of all, this is never personal, meaning whether or not we like a contestant will have no bearing on whether or not I like their outfit and deem it best or worst dressed. So a villain might be deemed best dressed and a favorite might be deemed worst dressed. It has nothing to do with personality or likability. And the next thing is that gimmick outfits will not be included. So for example, Kira, the doctor, was wearing a sexy doctor outfit. That will not be considered for best or worst dressed. And finally, before I get to it, I just want to mention that I will be doing my best keeping up with these. As you know, hopefully by now, this is not my day job. And I have 2 operas over the course of this Bachelor season. So we're in Seattle now, and then my next opera is in Miami in February. And so I will try to keep up with these, but if they don't seem to perform well, if you guys don't seem to care about them, then they will probably go the way of the dodo. So we'll just see. This is a test run. Okay?
Just a test.
Just a test. Okay, so for my best dressed, I'll start with my runner-up. My runner-up was Susie in her one-shoulder gown. This was ivory or white. It was draped beautifully. I thought that she managed to pull off a white gown without it looking bridal, which is no small feat. I thought it was understated, elegant. I would have liked her hair to have been back in some kind of a low-do or sort of tousled chignon with like some little pieces of hair. Her hair was just down and big and it looked beautiful, but it kind of took away from the neckline. But overall, I thought this was a very elegant choice in a sea of a lot of sequins, a lot of beading.
Yeah,
there was a lot of bedazzled dresses, a lot of them in sort of champagne and gold colors. Just seeing like a clean white dress without looking bridal was just, it felt like a breath of fresh air. She looked gorgeous. She wore the dress didn't wear her, I wrote.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and my best dressed goes to Teddy. So Teddy was wearing this off the shoulder sort of sheer effect black dress with sort of sweetheart neckline. I thought this dress was super cool. It was sort of classic but different. The thing that I always base these on is whether or not I wanted to see more of this dress. And out of all the 30 dresses we saw, or 30 women we saw, this was the outfit that I was craning to get a better look at. I wanted to see this dress at all angles. I wanted to see how it worked. I wanted to see the cut in the front and the back. It was a cool dress. She looked beautiful. It was also refreshing just to see a black dress with a little bit of interest. But again, in a sea of sequins, it was understated and it kept me wanting more. Once again, she has amazing hair. I think with this neckline, at least half up. I think at least half up would have made a huge difference on this neckline. We could have seen her shoulders, but she looked beautiful and she's my best dressed.
It's interesting that you often, the criticism I hear from you is hair. The hair being down always. Like they always default to hair down and very few people go hair up. I remember on your season, you went hair up a lot.
Well, I think that in general, people underutilize the power of styling when getting dressed at all, but especially when getting dressed up. Like, I don't want to see hair that you would wear just any other day, like heading to the beach with a relatively formal gown.
Well, you're very, very...
Oh, I practice what I preach.
Yeah, with the backless stuff. You oftentimes, before we're going to go out, like I have a backless dress, I have to wear my hair up. Otherwise, what's the point?
This conversation has been had more than once, yes. Okay, so moving on to my worst dressed. My runner-up, sadly, is Melina. So Melina was wearing a hot pink, like neon pink dress. It was actually, the dress was not my issue here. It was how she styled it. So she wore this sort of like star accessories, like these earrings and this sort of star. It was like a star that had been undone necklace. Like it was all these like jagged edges. And she was wearing this very terracotta-y lipstick that did not go with the dress at all. The lipstick felt kind of dated, in my opinion, and it could have been modernized had it been worn with a different dress. But I actually did not mind the dress, but I think that a pop of color stands alone. If you're going to wear a hot pink dress, I think everything else should be a little more subdued. So it was more of a styling issue here than me just not liking her dress, but the styling was a problem for me. I felt she cheapened the look of this dress. This hot pink dress could have looked expensive, but she ended up making it look less expensive by how she styled it.
Right. Well, it's like anything, like white patent leather boots.
Yeah.
If you're going to go that, you got to go classy everywhere else, right? No?
You have strong opinions about white patent boots for some reason.
I do. You're right.
Okay. And now finally, my worst dressed. It hurts my heart to give this award to Jill. However, I did not like this dress. I have a low tolerance for dresses that lean costumey. Mm-hmm. And this looked kind of like it was flirting with being a figure skater outfit up top. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of beading with a sort of nonsensical pattern. It kind of looked like a flame of beads. And then it was black down below. To be honest, I didn't like a lot of dresses on night one. There was just too many sequins, too many of the same thing, and just like embellishments with no purpose other than just being embellished. Mm-hmm. But I really didn't like Jill's dress, I'm sorry to say, because it stepped into costume territory. Right. The other ones felt more prom-y, and this felt costumey. Her hair was down, didn't love that. I'm not saying that hair can't be down, but I think that with this neckline, it was a halter neckline. It's clearly meant to be formal. This could have been rescued with great styling, and unfortunately, it wasn't. And that was unfortunately my worst dressed, even though I like Jill. Nothing against Jill.
Okay, you said at the front. Doesn't have to do with how much you like them.
All right, and that is it for the Fashion Police, Andy. Pretty nice. Painless, right?
Yeah, I feel like I added negative value.
All right. I'm very curious to know what you guys thought. What were your favorite looks or your least favorite looks? And yeah, I'll see you next week on the Fashion Police. Dear Shandy.